What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I'm your hostess, doing the mostest, Kevon She, and we are here with the final film Wednesday for Le Mois de l'Amour for the month of February, celebrating Black love, guys. And what an exploration of Black love it has been. We started off with Really Love. We came through with Moonlight. Came in with Cane River, and we are rounding it up with Raine, all the way from the UK, babes. What a fun movie. So, first of all, what I love about British media is that they're not afraid to take it there. Like, I think some of my first forays into British media was back when commercials used to be good, and I used to just be on YouTube looking up British commercials because they would be wild. Like, stuff that they would have on their commercials and stuff that they would say in their shows would never fly in the US. I mean, look at what they do to Asian movies and like original Asian adaptations and stuff like that. Like what's a movie that I saw in its original version? Was it The Ring? I saw The Ring. Just me and my sister was up late one night, and The Ring was on in its original language, wasn't no subtitles or nothing on TV, and really liked it, right? I think some years later when The Ring came out, I was like, this ain't the same movie, but it was like based on the same concept, but they changed so much. Another movie too that was just changed, it's an Austrian movie. It's about these two boys. The American name is changed too. It's about these two boys. They're twins, and their mom goes and get like some reconstructive surgery, but they think like that ain't who came back because her face is like all bandaged up, but they think that it's not their real mom. The original version, again, storyline, the plot, everything was way better. So I say all that to say, rom-coms in American Hollywood or whatever, it just be like sometimes the jokes don't be hitting, like it don't be funny for real. Not any humor that I would like, and that's probably because I don't live the life of the people who wrote some of those rom-coms. So shout out to all the Black filmmakers who ended up writing some classic rom-coms in America. But this movie, again, just it's classic British humor, and then on top of that, it's classic Black British humor. So you still get to get that connection, like with being Black across like the diaspora, but just I don't know, it's in another country. I didn't necessarily feel like I couldn't relate. Okay, now could I relate to the story? Oh, it's a rom-com, it's a movie, so I couldn't necessarily relate to the story, but just the experiences and the joy and just like the way certain things played out, it was so good. And I'm not even like fully a rom-com girly. I do enjoy going to them, but this one was actually like really good. So came out in 2023. It's rated R, and it's an hour and 22 minutes. It's a comedy, drama, and romance. Okay. The logline: two youngsters reeling from bad breakups connect over an eventful day in South London. It was written by Nathan Bryon and Tom Melia. The director is Raine Alan Miller. The cinematographer, Olan Collardy. The composer is Kwes. That was it, ain't no last name. The production designer is Rhodes. The set decorator is Jessamy Hadfield. The costume designer is Cynthia John. The gaffer, Bill Ray Smith, and it stars David Jonsson as Dom, who I just read today is going to be producing or directing Frank Ocean's like film debut or something like that. So shout out to you, Dom. Shout out to you, Dom. Shout out to you, David. And Vivian Oparah, who plays Yasmin, aka Yas. So already the opener. Okay, so I'm pretty sure at this point I am a fan of overhead aerial shots. I am a fan. I am a fan. I am a fan. This is like the 5th movie that I've seen in the last few months, and honestly the last couple of months. These shots just do something. Like, I feel like I'm floating above the characters and above the scenes and just having like an out-of-body experience as I watch this. So not only is it starting off like that and you're going from scene to scene to scene, you're going from scenes in varying degrees of color, and the lighting and the color grading on it is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It is beautifully colored in this film. The shots are crisp. The film, the way that they kind of did it was kind of like extra wide, almost in that fishbowl, almost like a panorama type of thing. If you've seen The Substance recently, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Or if you're a fan of Spike Lee movies, whenever he would do his dolly moments, it would seem almost wider than like a normal widescreen. Who else just recently did that? Long Legs just recently shot like that as well. Like, I just love how they use the use of wides and like that fish lens effect to really get up in people's business. Like, when they're talking, like, you're right there in their mouth or at their nose or at their eyes or in their face, and you're getting really involved with the story, like, out the gate. So love how the story opens up with Dom is in the bathroom and he's looking at this video of an ex, and she's like happy she's on a trip or whatever, and he's in there and he crying and shit, and then somebody else comes in, and so she's like, are you okay? And he was like, what are you doing in the men's bathroom? She's like, yeah, this is unisex. And he's like, do you mind? I'm trying to have a private moment. And she's like, yeah, a private moment in a public restroom. Like, okay, dude. So she walks out and he's just in there bawling his eyes out. But, you know, he comes out and she finds him and she's like, hey, sounds like you're really struggling here. So why don't we just, you know, hang out and go through this little art gallery or whatever. And maybe you could take your mind off it. Because, like, this is actually an interesting way to meet a guy. Like, you were crying in the toilet and like in the bathroom. And I think that's kind of interesting, and it piqued her interest. And so, you know, she's feeling nice or whatever, so they decide to hang out, and eventually they get to him telling her like what happened. He was with this girl named Gia for 6 years, and they broke up 3 months ago, and she's living life on social media as if the breakup didn't even affect them. And kind of find out, yes, also just recently broke up with somebody. So it's kind of like, oh, she didn't just hang out with him because he was just some weird dude crying in the bathroom. She probably felt a sense of like empathy and maybe did what she probably would have wanted somebody to do for her if she were in that situation. So we bonded over breakups and we having a good old time. And he's like, okay, well, I'm about to go meet Gia at this Texas, like a Texas de Brazil or whatever. And Yas is like, cool, bet I can come, we can get some caipirinhas and, you know, continue the rest of our day. And he's like, well, it would be weird to bring some random up in here, and this is the first time I'm seeing her since the breakup. So Yas is like, okay, don't really appreciate you calling me no random, but like, you also have points. So she's like, okay, bet. Yeah. He goes into this place and she is sitting there with her new man. Like, oh, like, what? Are you kidding me? So he sits down and it's just so awkward. And she's just like, you know, I just wanted everybody to get together. Let's just clear the air. You know, like things were getting stale. Like our relationship wasn't going anywhere. But, you know, I don't want things to be like weird or, you know, awkward or whatever. Let's just enjoy your meal. So do you have any questions? Like, what's up? And she's being very weird and cold about it all when Yas walks in, kisses him on the lips, and she's like, oh, sorry babes, like I just had to run a couple of errands, and you know, here I am. Hi, I'm Yas, you must be Gia. And then she flames the new boyfriend, like right there. So in this moment, love this moment, this is my favorite moment of the movie, all of Gia's whole like yeah, I cheated on you, but like, let's move on. That whole thing, switch up. And she looked like she just swallowed shit, because now her whole demeanor has changed, because when you thought he was sitting there just pining over you and you moved on, you was excited to rub your new relationship in his face and try to embarrass him. But he's moved on. This girl is over here pretty, and you know, was just open with him and just having all these moments with him right here in your face. And now you like, oh, so when did this happen? Oh, you went and did this with her? And it's like, girl, what are you talking about? You was cheating on him in your whole relationship. So why are you trying to keep up with the timelines of whatever they got going on when you're sitting here in my face with the man you cheated on me with, trying to say, like, let's have a good time? Like, no. So I really love this for Dom. And it really was like an eat crow moment, especially because as the new boyfriend continues to talk, Gia's trying to get him to shut up, and Yas started cracking up because she's like, oh my God, you dumped Dom for an idiot? Wow, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. And so they laughing and they get up and leave, and Gia just sitting there looking dumb. And so we're having a good time, and this is just really one long eventful day of like a date in a way, and they're continuing to get to know each other. And then Yas eventually opens up about why she broke up with her boyfriend and just kind of like the situation behind that. And her quest before the day ends is to get back into her ex's house so she can get this album of hers that means so much to her, but he changed the locks on her so she can't get in there. So they end up breaking into the house again. It's silly, it's comic, it's romantic, it's over the top, but in like a really good way through the storytelling of the movie. And I'm gonna get back to something at the end on how they did this, but then we find out during this whole break-in the truth behind the actual breakup. And Dom kind of has this little holier than thou thing, like, you could have just told me the truth. And she's like, bro, we just met, why would I tell you my whole life story? He's like, well, I told you mine. And she said, and you didn't have to, and I appreciate you for that, but I didn't have to do the same thing. So they kind of have like their little spat or whatever, but at the end of the day, they were making like a genuine connection, and they really were there for each other. And it just seemed like, yeah, they were both going through their breakups, but the universe put them in each other's paths because they are meant to be with one another. And so Yas realizes, you know, she messed up a little bit. She could have been a little bit more honest. Okay, you got him into breaking and entering. He could have got beat up. And she does the big grand gesture to win him back. And I just love how he didn't necessarily make it hard for her. He was like, girl, like, yeah, you lied, but listen, I miss you. You are the coolest person, and even if you told me the truth, I still would have thought you were cool because you are just like this light, and I'm so glad to have met you. And they sail into the sunset, y'all. Just beautiful black young 20-somethings there for each other, not only during this breakup, but even in this one whole day of a date. He's talking about his dreams that he put on hold for his relationship. She's talking about dreams that she put on hold for their relationship. So them just supporting each other, her being a stylist and a fashion designer, him going into, oh my God, was it like architecture or something like that? But just, they just had like a genuine connection. And I love this movie so much because I remember like the first time I had like an all-day date, it like turned into like an accidental thing. And that's just like the beauty of dating. Like, that person may not be here forever, but if you just open yourself up to new opportunities and things, like, you can really have like a really fun like time and create some real fun memories as it surrounds like relationships, dating, and just getting to learn yourself, learn other people, again, what you like and what you don't like. Now, all in this beautiful story, the way that it was shot, the editing, the storytelling, the theatrical elements in the way that they told their stories. So when Dom was first telling how he found out that Gia was cheating, he was like, okay, it all started like this. And he opens these doors, and then the edit cuts to him being inside the movie theater. So you have current day Dom and Yas watching the Dom of 3 months ago, going up to the counter at the movies. He's getting his popcorn. He FaceTime Gia, and he was like, hey, like, are you on your way? And she's not. And so he's telling this story, but then you still got like the scene of watching himself. And it was the same thing with Yaz when she was telling her story or whatever. They're in like this theater, and so it's like a stage play of the retelling of how she broke up with him. So I just love the combination of like regular cinematography imbued with the theatrics of it all, and combining all of that, and you get to watch the characters watch this story come to life. So it's not just like a conversation of like, yeah, this is what happened or whatever. No, we get to actually see on the screen with the characters how their breakups went and how they found out about certain things about their relationship. And I thought that was really fun and really cool. And yeah, the entire movie I was just openly laughing and cackling and just in awe of how the film was shot. So there's that. Raine. You can watch it on Tubi and on Hulu. It was really good. I'll obviously, where did I put it at? Yeah, you'll see it in the name of which platform I watched it on, like I do with all of my movies, so y'all can go find it. But it was really good. Definitely a 10 out of 10 recommend for this film. It was beautifully shot. Again, the color was great. Everybody was lighted perfectly. The storytelling was really nice, and we didn't like overdo the jokes, and we didn't sit too long in the dramatic portions, and you really got to get some beautifully emotionally climactic moments in the film as well with both of the characters. But even with the lie that kind of like got in the way, the movie still stayed light. It stayed fresh, and the whole time you just feel like you're on the precipice of like a new opportunity and just a new way to live life. So it never dipped you down into depression or anything like that. You were just hopeful for these two people to get over themselves, to take a chance on one another, and just start fresh. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is gonna wrap up the film. It's gonna wrap up this episode, the final movie of Le Mois de l'Amour. Oh, this month is not long enough, but y'all already know I be celebrating all types of movies, especially black-led films on this podcast. So just because it ain't February no more after this, don't mean you not finna see us on my channel. Okay, hello, look at my hat. Culture, I'm like, and I'm proud. Yeah, and it's not a February thing, it's a life thing, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to specifically focus on black love films that were rooted in something that we don't necessarily see all the time, and I wanted to just explore different types of love and different ways that love can be portrayed within our community by our black storytellers, our black writers, our directors, and just overall our filmmakers. So I hope that you enjoyed these films. I hope that you watch them, and as always, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment in the comment box below. Let me know what you think about the movie. And for your people that like to listen on the go, make sure you share that Spotify and Apple Podcast link. And you can always find me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, as well as Twitter at Kivanchi, and Blue Sky Social at Kivanchi. And with that, I will catch y'all in the next episode.